When Evelyn and Donald boarded the plane to New York City, they were armed with two things: a carry-on bag and a laminated itinerary that Evelyn had color, coded by day, meal, and subway line. They'd been married 44 years, and this was their first trip to the Big Apple together. Now, Donald was skeptical. "Too many people," he said. "Too loud," he added. "Too many rats the size of cats," he muttered. But Evelyn, she was ready for it. Broadway lights, Central Park strolls, pizza slices the size of steering wheels, and a little shopping. If there was room in her suitcase, of course. So, what happened when this charming couple from Indiana hit the streets of New York? Let's just say it started with bagels and nearly ended their lives. First stop, Times Square. They arrived around sunset, and Donald was immediately overwhelmed. Why is everything blinking? Is that billboard talking to me? It probably was. Evelyn, meanwhile, was snapping selfies like a teenager with a new phone. They saw a man in a full Elmo suit and a guy painted head to toe in gold. Donald leaned over to her and whispered, "If he moves, I'm out." But the real adventure began when they learned to ride the subway. They downloaded the app, bought a Metro card, and Evelyn confidently said, "We'll take the A train downtown." 10 minutes later, they were in Queens. Not part of the plan. Donald gave her a look, but Evelyn just laughed and said, "Well, now we know where the locals live." That's the beauty of traveling at their age-wrong turns are just alternate stories. Now let's talk safety, because Evelyn learned a lesson the hard way. They were in a crowded area near Penn Station, taking a break on a bench. When Evelyn got a phone call, she grabbed the phone out of her purse and then placed her purse on the bench next to her and proceeded to answer the call. After about 2 minutes, she ended the call and went to place the phone back into her purse. And just like that, the purse was gone. Luckily, she only lost an old lipstick, hand sanitizer, a granola bar, and the cheap old handbag because Donald had convinced her to keep her ID, cash, and bank cards in a neck wallet under her cardigan. Donald looked Evelyn in her face and said, "Never trust a city where the pigeons don't fly." Evelyn rolled her eyes, but she learned. He gave her a quick embrace, and she thanked him for his advice about wearing the neck wallet. She was frazzled but relieved it wasn't worse. From then on, she kept her bag zipped close and wore it across her body, and they stuck to well-lit areas after dark. They had pizza in Brooklyn, so cheesy it required napkin armor. Donald declared it was the best pizza experience ever. They found a diner in the East Village where the pancakes were the size of frisbees. And for one magical night, they got tickets to a tiny jazz club in Harlem where they danced slow in the corner like no one was watching, even though everyone was recording them. They stayed in a modest hotel in Long Island, just a 15-minute subway ride from Manhattan, and half the price. They booked museums online, many of which offer senior discounts. They also bought a city pass 5 major attractions for a fraction of the price. And they brought snacks for the park, which saved money and let them picnic under the trees in Central Park like teenagers. The next day, they took the elevator to the top of the Empire State Building. On the way up, it stopped. The lights flickered. Someone gasped. Donald said, "Well, this is how it ends." Evelyn, embarrassed, elbowed him in the side. But 5 seconds later, the doors opened. On the wrong floor. Donald then says, "False alarm." Everyone laughs. They all quickly exited the elevator. They were only a couple of floors from the top and took the stairs the rest of the way. Still, Evelyn had to sit down once they got to the top. Not from fear, but from altitude-induced dizziness, she claimed. Donald just wrapped his arm around Evelyn, handed her his handkerchief, and said, "Welcome to the clouds, my love." What did they learn on their New York adventure? That sometimes the best part of a big city is wandering without a plan. That staying safe means staying alert but not staying scared. And that every wrong turn, every noisy moment, every crowded sidewalk is worth the memories. They laughed more than they planned, ate more than they should have, and spent a little less than they feared. And when they got back home, Donald, the one who once said, "I'll never go to New York," was craving the pizza he couldn't get at home, looked at Evelyn and said, "When do we go back?" Whether it's Paris, New York, or your own backyard, travel isn't just for the young, it's for the wise. We don't just take trips. We collect stories. And if you ever find yourself in Times Square, hold on to your purse, grab a slice, and remember, it's never too late for an adventure. If this touched your heart, like and subscribe to the Well-Seasoned Path, where we honor stories like Evelyn and Donald's. Until next time, take care of yourself and never stop learning.